You shocked my parents, not with anger, not with pride, but with silence and truth. They expected thunder, but you came like rain, soft, calm, and unstoppable. They thought love was only a rumor, something told in songs, something that fades when morning comes. But you stood before them and turned rumor into faith. My mother looked wise. She tried to find the wrong in you, but found only grass. My father spoke less than usual because strength sometimes bows when it meets something pure. They were not angry, they were afraid, afraid of how real you were. You did not need to speak much. Your presence said enough. It spoke like poetry in motion. Every word you said carried an ocean. Every pause was like a prayer. They saw your scars, but did not understand them. They were not marks of pain, but maps of survival and hope. You were not born in a palace, nor raised by gold. You came from fire, from forgiveness, from places where love grows even the cracks of sorrow. You shocked them because they never saw a queen made of simplicity. They saw your tears, but they did not see the mountains behind them. You bowed your head, but your soul stood tall. They wanted perfection, but you showed them humanity, and that became your crown. I remember that day clearly. The world moved slower, as if time itself wanted to listen. Hearts spoke louder than titles. You did not dress to impress. You came in truth and left in dignity. That night, my mother cried quietly. My father walked the halls. They both felt something new, that love is not taught in wealth. It is born in pain and carried in courage. You shocked them because you made me human before you made me a husband. For the first time, they saw me smile without pretending. They saw me stand, not to defend my name, but to protect my feeling. You brought chaos, but it was scared chaos. It wakes something sleeping in all of us. My mother said softly, "This woman carries light, even when she breaks." And my father whispered, "She is not what I expected, but she is what you need." You shocked them with how you loved me like a prayer, not a plan. You held my flaws like fragile glass and turned them into reflections. You never fought for a place. You earned it with kindness. They could not measure you with titles or names. They could not understand how silence could have strength, how softness could win respect. So at first they feared you, but fear fades when truth remains and you remained. I remember the garden that morning. You fed the birds with gentle hands. Even the wind stopped, as if heaven was watching. My mother watched too, through the window, and though she said nothing, her eyes spoke. You shocked them because you reminded them of what they had lost. The beauty of kindness, the courage of calm, the honesty that does not shout. You did not talk about kingdoms or crowns. You spoke of love, of peace, of mercy, and it humbled them. When they tested your patience, you answered with stillness. When they doubted your worth, you smiled like dawn. That smile still lives in my chest, a quiet rebellion against pride. You shocked my parents, not because you were loud, but because you were real. And in a world full of masks, realness is rebellion. You did not try to change the places, you changed the air within it. The servants whispered stories about your gentle ways. The maids adored you because you thanked them like equals. The guards remembered how you offered them tea and asked for nothing in return. You did not try to fit in, you let your light find its own shape. And slowly the gold walls began to soften. Even the silence in the halls felt warmer after you. My mother watched you secretly again. When you fed the white birds, she saw herself in your calm. Before crowns and duties, she too had been kind like you. You reminded her what love once looked like before power turned it into duty. My father changed too, not with big speeches, but with small pauses. He began to ask about you. Did she eat? Did she rest? Does she still write? His questions were bridges, quiet ways of caring. Sometimes at night, he sat in the library holding the family ring. He looked at it as if it now belonged to both of us. You shocked my parents, but you also softened them. You made them remember that love is not measured by bloodlines, but by bravery. I recall one evening my mother entered my room holding your scarf. She said quietly, "She carries light wherever she goes." I did not see it before, but I see it now. That night, the place was silent but peaceful. The calendar glowed softer, the piano keys rested, and even the walls seemed to breathe easier. They never said it aloud, but I knew. You did not just shock them, you healed them. Because truth, even when it hurts, always brings light. And you are that light, a woman who came not to impress, but to remind us that love, in its simplest form, is still the strongest power of all.